recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at ZEDGamesAU.
You're listening to Z Games. My name is Hazel and I'm here in the studio with...
Zara! It's me.
It's you. It's us. I haven't been on in a while, so I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm really pumped up now. Like, just kind of like, yeah, let's roll, let's rock, let's go.
How have you been?
You know, it's the assessment period right now.
It sure is.
And, you know, I'm talking to my fellow students. We're going through it. But you know what? We're getting through it.
Shout out to all the students out there suffering.
Love you all.
And getting through it.
The key is to get through it.
Have you been playing many games?
Not as, you know, I have been getting some game time here and there because it's essential for my mental health. And talking to my fellow students, I want you all to prioritize games for your mental health. So
I want you to prioritize games over everything
else. But yeah, I have been playing some games, and I've actually got a review lined up for the show today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be a treat. I've been good.
Yeah?
And I have been playing a lot of Warframe, as is pretty predictable for me nowadays.
I mean, it's pretty... Every single time you load up Warframe, there seems to be a whole new thing. And it's just kind of like, what is there going to be next? What is there next?
There's so much. I have not even caught up to where the current updates are at. So I'm still struggling my way through the galaxy map.
Just wondering what railjacks are and...
Yeah, like I keep seeing these hints of things that are like, 40 more hours into the game, and I'm like, wow. And I can't wait for that.
And you have how many hours in the game at the moment?
Shh. Don't tell them.
It's all right, I'll keep your secret.
Well, I reckon we should just get into it. This week in gaming news, we have an update for the EB Games midnight launch for the Nintendo Switch 2.
An update?
Do you recall last week's story about EB Games only having a midnight launch for EB World Plus members or people who pre-traded in their consoles? Well, they walked that back almost immediately.
Woo!
Now the EB World Plus members and pre-traders are instead given a fast pass, which assumedly will let them skip the line in front of those people who didn't shell out $49 a year for a subscription to a retail store.
This feels like a good compromise. There'll be people who don't mind like splashing a bit extra just to be like front of the line.
But the
midnight launch is it's just a scene. It's a vibe. It's tradition. It's culture. It's community, and it's just. I know it's only $50 a year, but that $50 really hurt my little heart.
Yeah. $50 is kind of a lot for a subscription to a place that sells things.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, moving along. Our next story, Carrie Patel has left Obsidian. Carrie Patel is the director of Avowed and has also worked on Pillars of Eternity, The Outer Worlds, and narrative design lead on Pillars of Eternity 2. She has left Obsidian after 12 years to be the game director at Night School, which was bought by Netflix in 2021 and is known for the game Oxenfree. the only other game that they've released since they were acquired by Netflix, apart from the sequel to Oxenfree, which was announced before the acquisition, seems to be a mobile game for the show Black Mirror called, and I hope I'm saying this wrong actually, Thronglets. I hope it's not that. I hope it's called something else somehow.
Like, I don't know. Thronglets. Thronglets.
Look, I just hope that Carrie making her way over there means that they're going to make a real game again.
Yeah, that is the ideal outcome. The outcome I'm scared of is it all sinks and Carrie goes down with it.
Don't say that.
Fair enough. Maybe not.
Well,
Ooh.
we have got an interesting one. A Bionicle fan project has been shut down right on the cusp of having its first demo released. The hammer of IP ownership has come down on Bionicle Masks of Power, which has been in development for 8 years with Team Konohi. They are the group behind the project, and they were in the final stages of bug fixing and polish, just months out from releasing a demo when they got a request from the LEGO Group to shut down the project and, quote, remove Bionicle Masks of Power from the public eye, unquote. Team Konohi said that they endeavored to communicate openly with the LEGO Group, following their fair play guidelines for fan projects in good faith, and that the LEGO Group's stance on fanworks appears to have changed. All is not lost, however. Team Konohi is rebranding as Unmasked Games, nice joke, and using what they've learned over the last 8 years to make their own original game, codenamed Project Rustbound. The project for Bionicle Masks of Power has been immortalized as a video walkthrough of the demo's current state. As a lifelong Bionicle fan, I was caught
Are you a
halfway
friend of
between
Bionicles?
saying fan and freak. I'm a fan of Bionicle, and I am a fan of the Bionicle universe and the games that have been made for it over the years. So this is pretty sad for me.
Yeah, I mean, 8 years. So these types of projects are generally made by volunteers who are doing this in their spare time out of their own pocket. And to spend 8 years working on this, thinking that, Lego like...
You're playing by the rules.
Yeah, we're like, hey, this is all cool, right? And Lego's like giving a thumbs up. And then right before, they're just like, no, actually, I've changed my mind. Stop it. Stop making that game.
Right before it was released too. Like, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt.
But there must have been tons that they've learned from this project. So I'm really excited to see what Project Rustbound ends up becoming. I'm keen. I don't want them to give up. I want them to keep going.
And I'm fascinated by anything that's made by people who love Bionicle so much that they spent 8 years of their life making a fan work about it.
Is that not the average Bionicle fan?
Shh. Now for some news nibbles. An Elder Scrolls Oblivion player in the new remastered version of the game has managed to paralyze themselves with a spell effect for, let me get this right, 2,097,762,304 seconds, which works out to about 66 real life years.
Huh?
Yes.
How do you do a spell that bad, that strong, that I don't.
Yeah.
Is the player okay? Do they have a save? This is what I want to know.
I assume so. But they have pointed out in posting it to the Oblivion subreddit that 66 years is actually longer than the reign of Emperor Uriel Septim VII, the emperor at the beginning of the game. Yeah.
Okay. Nerd.
It's weird. Paralyze themselves in-game for longer than the emperor has been the emperor.
Oh.
Moving on, Randy Pitchford, CEO of Gearbox Software, has said that it's not his call if the price of Borderlands 4 is $80 US. That's $80 US. And even if it was that much, if you were a real fan, you'd find some way to buy it anyway. CEOs, they're just like us.
Boo! Hate that. Hateful. Just, what a... Not a nice thing to say.
Yeah, I've got nothing nice to say, so I'm going to shut my mouth.
Yeah.
And move on to people review bombing the Borderlands games because of Take-Two's recently updated terms of service.
Why?
As Caroline has added in our news notes, who even reads those anyway?
Like, it's just the usual stuff, like, give me your soul, give me access to all your personal details, like...
Sign over your bank account, put me in your will.
It's fine. Like,
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
In the recently reported hack of Steam, Valve has confirmed that no user data was apparently compromised, but they still say that it's a good idea to set up two-factor authentication.
And that's just solid advice, just in general, two-factor authentication. Authentication. It works. Do it. Set it up. I know it's a little time-consuming, but you can't be too careful, especially these days.
And remember to transfer it to your new phone when you change phones.
Oh, please. Oh, my God.
But we need to move along to upcoming game releases.
Can I read out the game releases?
Absolutely, you can.
Awesome. All right, 22nd of May. Oh, that's today. We got Duck Detective, The Ghost of Glamping for Nintendo Switch, PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. May 23rd brings Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny Remaster for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. And May 27th brings Cattle Country for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. I want to go to Cattle Country.
Cattle Country. That's all this week in gaming news. You've got something in store for us, don't you?
Oh, I might have something up my sleeves.
Something that requires an intro, perhaps?
Something that might require an intro.
An intro like this?
It's a party game review. Party game for your games. Games for your party. Hey! Who doesn't like a good party game? The kind of party game that has you and your friends gathered around the TV, somebody's probably on a beanbag, snacks on hand, warming up your taunts. Something where only one person needs to own it and your friends can hop on. Easy to learn, tricky to master. Satisfying when you win, still good fun when you lose. Well, today I'll be talking about Which Way Up Galaxy Games, developed by Turtle Flip Studios. I got a review key for the Nintendo Switch, and I really feel that it is the optimal way to play this game. But let's get into what this game is. It's a 2D platformer party game that has you and up to 3 of your friends play as Celestials. Cute and colourful little starfolk, and you all duke it out in a series of gravity-based challenges. The controls are simple, left analog stick to move around and aim, jump, perform a comet push with a couple buttons, and that's kinda it. But the platforming is a bit to get your head around. You and the other Celestials are all out in space, in the cosmos, and your stage is made up of small planetary bodies, each with their own gravity fields. You'll orbit. You'll fling yourself around. You'll need to consider the trajectory of your jump. And when you're all running and jumping around, just orbiting around asteroids and each other, it gets a bit hectic. Thankfully, the design of this game is perfect for the chaos. Each Celestial is distinctive in colour and shape. The UI is clean and colourful, and the Celestials themselves are quite cute and kind of sassy. In multiplayer, you can play through a series of different gravity games, each with their own quirks and twists that you'll need to learn and adapt to. The simplest game is Overload. It's basically tag. Whoever is it when the timer runs out dies. Brutal. My favourite gravity game was Event Horizon, where you all need to outrun a supermassive black hole while avoiding obstacles that could knock you out. There's also Hole-in-One, which is space golf, and Star Ring, which requires you to try to keep within a moving sphere. There's Constellation Catch, where you try to claim stars in various constellations, and many more. Each Galaxy game took 1 round to learn and 1 round to lock in. There's enough chaos to feel like you're at the whims of space, but there's also enough control that with a bit of time you can get quite good at the game. Which brings me to single player. There is a single player mode which will have you play through a series of missions. You pick a Celestial, for example Spark, and their missions are all themed around platforming mechanics. If you select Sprout, all their missions are golf themed. Each character has a little story to go with them, and there's actually quite a lot of world building and lore. Maybe a little bit too much at times, but the missions are challenging. I'm glad that they give you a fast restart button, but hey, you'll get good at the game. I did also get the chance to interview the developer Nick, which I'll be uploading to Z Games AU on the 25th of May, and that was a really fun chat. But overall, I really enjoyed Which Way Up Galaxy Games. I like that there's some skill involved, I like that it's challenging, and its look and design is just mwah. I haven't finished the single player mode yet, and there's actually more content on the way to look forward to, so I think this will be a reoccurring game at Hangouts. And that is Which Way Up Galaxy Games by Turtle Flip Studios.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Turtle flip, turtle flip, turtle flip.
You're listening to Z Games. My name's Hazel. I'm here in the studio with Sarah. And now Paul is going to take us away with a tribute to our dearly departed friend and co-host Cameron. Have a listen.
Thank you for that seamless introduction, announcer. A few weeks ago, I was asked if I'd like to make a tribute to our friend Cam, as it was coming up to a year since his sudden passing. A member of the Z Games team, and a wonderful man who I'd quickly come to love. That said, he and I were still early in our friendship. We had very similar niche interests in gaming, and were planning several projects together, including an interview with his game developer hero, Jeff Minter. My immediate sadness to the news was also filled with my own selfish loss of everything he and I could have done, and the intimate friendship I was wanting to cultivate over what I had assumed would be years together. So this is the story of growing closer to someone after they've already left us, directly via the creation of this segment. Google Cameron Davis. Hey, there's a golfer with the same name. The same thing happens when you Google my name. Just another thing we had in common. Google Cameron Davis, game developer. This giant bomb profile simply says, possibly the most lovable Aussie of them all, and that's saying something. I have a feeling Cam wrote this himself, but it's not an unjustifiable position to argue. He was an exceedingly friendly and positive man that had a wide reach in the gaming industry, starting on the journalism side before moving into game development, but then moonlighting as a comic book artist and writer. I'm finding old interviews, posts on forums, some drama that I find extremely funny. This is a lot to go through. He had a long run at Brisbane developer Chrome, working on such titles as Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 and 3, the Spyro the Dragon reboot series, and of course, as a lead designer on Viva Pinata Party Animals. So let's review it! Viva Pinata Party Animals is a multiplayer party game for the 360 and a spin-off to the Viva Pinata series. Releasing in 2007, just around the time GTA 4 was supposed to release before it was delayed. Here's a quote about it from Cameron. I guess the GTA 4 delay will give people more of a chance to buy my game. Nah, not even I believe that. Look, Party Animals is a f***ing party game. We're not exactly writing Shakespeare here. We're doing a kids game. And we happen to do kids games very well. In summary, Viva Pinata Party Animals is a f***ing party game for kids from people who do kids games very well. It's also backwards compatible, so load it up on your Series X. While Party Animals couldn't be described as Cameron's personal magnum opus, he was proud of his work and what the team had put together. If we wanted to get a bit more personal, I think we should look at Rose. Rose was Cameron's comic series, a sickeningly wholesome series following the titular Rose, a woman who just loved food. I put the tone around an Archie comic, but the protagonist was more of a Jughead. Anyway, I went back to read the archive. The website was gone. Of course, it was a solo project and he wasn't there to maintain it. Thankfully, the Wayback Machine exists, so I travelled back in time and started reading. A project I'm now doing is archiving as much of the old content as I can, which I will make available in future. I'll post it on Z Games when I do. It was scary for a moment though. While there's so much about Cameron out there, it can disappear. Old interviews had lost formatting after site redesigns, certain forums were offline forever. I was happy that there was so much to find, and while much of it was just random chat online, preserving it in some way seemed important. Important for me to celebrate someone, and hopefully so that Cameron can continue to have an impact on people for a long time. I also took the opportunity to track down copies of the 3 comic collections he published. Again, something I want to make available to other people. And let's not forget his self-published games on Itch, a choose-your-own-adventure visual novel based on the comic, and a Commodore 64 game about Rose making curry. Oh, I haven't mentioned his love of the Commodore 64 yet. If I were to put any interest above all else from what I knew of the man, not including his personal relationships here, it would be the Commodore 64. He was still active in the scene of the 1982 platform. Did you know games were still released for it? I didn't. But Cam would always fill me in. Speaking of his love of retro games, I know his favourite game was Whizball, but I don't know why. Hey Google, Whizball, Sensible Software's Commodore 64 classic, should go down as one of the best video games ever made, period. It's a game where you collect paint drops and shoot enemies, and use a control system that's best described as controlling a pea in a bowl of soup. It's psychedelic, totally original, and tuned to perfection. Thanks, Cam from 2006, still filling me in with your hot takes. So, what's the takeaway of all this? Well, personally, I miss my friend every day, and the future we never had, but he isn't gone. In the lead up to this, I spoke to mutual friends and got some of their stories, many of which are not appropriate to publish here, and I found so much material. I now have most everything he published, and I'm going to treasure it and share it with others. Cameron Gazunta Davis left us far too soon, but he left us with a lot. To his wife, family, and friends, I'm sorry I didn't address you more directly, but I don't feel your stories are mine to tell. I would love to hear them, though. And to those who never knew him, look him up. And for those of you who might be struggling with losses of your own, I encourage you to find the artifacts of those you love, preserve them, and share them. None of us may live forever, but our love for each other can spread infinitely.
It's party time! Woohoo! Oh yeah! Viva Pinata! Viva, viva, pinata, yada, yada! Viva Pinata! Party.
Thanks, Paul. And I just want to share that my very first experience with Cam was him joining our little group chat and making an introduction post where he said that he was a game designer for things like Spyro and Viva Pinata Party Animals. And I, as a rabid childhood fan of Viva Pinata, went, "Viva Pinata, my hero!" And he said, no, not the rare one that everyone loved. The Mario Party S spin-off that everyone was like, why does this exist? And yeah, that's Cam.
That is Cam. He was a delight. He was a wonderful addition to the Z Games team, and I consider myself extremely lucky to have known him for the brief time I've been able to know him. And I'm very thankful to Paul for taking the time to just remember and learn. And sometimes that's all we can do to express the love that we've had for those who aren't here with us anymore. Sometimes all we can do is just remember and make sure that they're not forgotten.
And I don't think anyone will ever forget Cam.
No.
All right, we're coming up to the end of our show, but we have got some things to talk about before we go.
Yes, we've always got so many things to talk about, but this is important. So 29th of May, Thursday night at 6 p.m, over at Lost Souls Netherworld will be hosting another indie dev night. And here are the games we got lined up for you. We've got Tempopo by Witchbeam, Schrodinger's Cat Burglar by Abandoned Sheep. We've also got Moonbrella by Jet Williams. We've also got We've got Lone Pine by Bang 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 Interactive, which I'm really excited about. Jaws of Space and What the Tide Brought In, both by Mobster Lobster Games. Great name. We've also got Aqueducts by Reed and Jack. We had them on the show a little bit while ago. And can't forget Dungeon Pizza by Growing Games. So we've got a bit of an assortment, and I'm pretty keen about it, I have to say. I've also got a little reminder for everyone, if you haven't put in your calendars yet, 14th of June, that is a Saturday, over at the Brisbane Powerhouse, there will be the Queensland Games Festival, and we will be there with Amplify Games. It's brand new, you should come check it out.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. And honestly, can I say thank you to all of everyone who makes games and contributes to making games in Brisbane and around Brisbane and Australia, for letting us be part of it and letting us, show your stuff off.
I consider
it makes us very happy.
Yeah, I consider us very lucky to be in the position that we are, where we get to watch games like start up and rise and develop over time. And the past few years of being part of Z Games, that's probably been the best part of it. So you should come check it out, see what we're so hyped about.
I've never had more fun with games than I am having right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks to everyone, and thanks for listening to another episode of Z Games. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. We will miss you until next week. Good night.
Good night.
And goodbye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye. Love you.
Good night. Goodbye.
Love you. Love you.
Yes.
Bye. Love
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Z Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app.
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.